Hello, everyone, and welcome to the Couch Potato Queens. I am your host, Sam Meier. I am joined tonight by my roommate, platonic life partner, Josh Mendelson. Josh,
Hey,
my
girl.
baby.
And guess
What was that?
we also have our third guest today.
We sure do. Here's Doug. You know
Hello.
him. Hi, Doug. Welcome to the pod, baby.
I'm so glad to be here.
Oh my God, we're thrilled to have you. Alex has a big theater show opening this week, so Doug is taking over Team Alex for the evening. We're going to have so much fun. So going down, Maureen, hello. We loved the changes in this household. We can talk about this right up front. We got the change from "come on in, guys" to "come on in." We love to see it, honestly. I was screaming for Ricard. I loved it. Doug, how did you feel about that moment?
I was good for that moment. I thought it was very organic when he first brought it up, and even in my own context, I've wondered. I've tried to make a better decision about that. I really feel like the term "y'all" has made its way into Midwestern slang more so than the Southern slang. And I'm on board with it. I'm glad that even after some time of reflection, I like that Survivor is bringing those things front and forward and making those decisions. So I'm here for it. I like it.
Absolutely. Also, Atharella, thank you for the reminder. Folks at home, please remember to like this video, subscribe to our channel, leave a comment, not just in the stream, but under the video. It helps us so much. It burns my skin to say it. So instead, I'm going to celebrate some of you. Momo O said, Sarah was hella paranoid. She was the first to break. Josh, tell me, what is my favorite thing about watching Survivor?
Sam, guys, loves, because a lot of you guys are getting to know Sam here. Sam loves when someone loses it on national television. It is like heaven on earth, y'all, when someone starts breaking down crying all the time. So I knew when Sarah did it, I was like, she's on my team. Damn!
Whole ass breakdown, and it was so much fun to watch. It's always fun to guess who's gonna crack, how long everyone's gonna take. Hello, Madam Caliente. I'm wondering if you meant Yasa. Please clarify. Ben, I did say Liana was out first, but I did choose her still, and I'm glad I did. She was a lot of fun. She was a queen.
I will also say I regret all the not giving any love to Liana because she kind of impressed me this episode. So which we'll get into, but I am now a Liana stan, everybody. I love Liana. I joined the club. You can change your pictures like you did last time. I'm here for Liana.
Ben, I agree, though we will low-key miss Sarah in this house. Sorry, Doug. Doug, you were going to say something?
I'm just glad that while I'm protecting Alex's team, that all of her players are intact and that I don't have to be responsible for any of them leaving. So that's good for me. I'm very happy about
that. Wasn't Abraham on Alex's team?
No.
He was playing as Eric, I think, originally.
Yeah, Eric is Abraham. So you.
Oh no! So
you
it is my fault.
It is your fault.
What can you
hello,
do?
Alexandra. Dawn, we love Ricard as well. He was a standout for us.
Yes.
Ben, glad you also support the come on in change. So we will not miss the Big Brother veto competition. And yes, we also love Tiffany after tonight. Tiffany is a big favorite of Josh's as well.
I love Mama Tiff. I love her. And also the BB thing, guys, y'all, you can watch the veto on Paramount Plus tomorrow night. Come on, y'all. This is the premiere Survivor.
It's the premiere Survivor. We've been waiting so long for this.
We have been waiting for this. Do you know what? Be streaming us while you watch the veto. You can do both.
You can do both.
Because I believe in you, because you, Couch Potato Queens viewers, are multitasking legends. We live in a multimedia age. We got screens while we poop, baby. Okay, so y'all, I kind of want to start trekking into this episode. The first one, the first challenge we got, all of the survivors are brought aboard a barge. And we found out, first of all, Tiffany was an alternate. Mama Tiff was an alternate, which was real fun. Erica was cast last season, but her season was delayed. Nasir shares his story of learning English by watching Survivor. It's all very cute, but we essentially got an hour of character development here.
True.
You know, Doug, how did you feel about an hour of character development?
Well, I was here for it. So I will admit, I'm a huge Survivor fan. I've watched pretty much every season. But I did not do any like pre-show research. So I didn't watch any cast reveals. I was just like, you know what? I'm just going to organically watch the first episode. So I was here for the character development. I needed it. I needed to learn who these characters were a little bit because, like I said, I didn't really research it beforehand. So I was very happy to get all that context. It was very helpful for me.
I thought it was great, and I thought it was so much more insight than we get in some of the very short introduction videos. Josh, how did you feel about like getting this much time to sort of learn who these people are?
I'm here for it. There were so many people that we really got to get a little bit in depth of their life. Even if it was for like a second, we really got to get everyone. And that's kind of why I like the 18-person cast better than the 20-person cast, because usually when we get 18 people, you get to know the people a little bit better. And they really went into it. Specifically, Ricard's story stood out to me. I was so here for it. If you missed it, if you're under a rock, Ricard is a gay man married to a trans man. And the trans man had their baby and is now raising their daughter.
Can we just also, I need to pause here for a moment, because while we stand their marriage, they knew each other for 37 days before they got married. Can we talk about that for a moment? That I was taken aback.
Typical gay relationship.
they're having a second child, like in basically like under 2 years of being together. They're like, what is happening there?
I can't even imagine. I can't imagine meeting a man right now or someone that I would be like, after 37 days, let's just commit to each other for the rest of our lives. I can't.
That's
how does that happen?
Come on now, at least.
Oh God, it was a lot. But Madame Caliente, I love this 26-day format as well. But particularly what I like is that they have accelerated the schedule for these people being miserable. Okay, they are like, they took a note from RuPaul and said people love psychological torture. Like American viewers love the psychological torture, and we learn about some of the new rules in outside of just the sneak peeks that we're getting of the actual production. We're also learning that there's going to be penalties if you lose challenges. You know, there's going to be more twists and turns. It's very exciting, and we get that with the first reward challenge. And they're competing for a pot, a machete, and a flint, and they aren't getting any rice this season. Producers want them to be hungry and cold and fighting each other. And this first reward challenge, though, was kind of a shit show.
I was here for it.
Bad.
I was here for it. It was everything because that last place tribe. It wasn't just them though, because that middle tribe, that blue tribe, didn't even unhook their thing.
Like, unhook their anchor.
It was a mess.
Also,
can you imagine though? Like you're the first like cast. You're going into the season. Everybody's anticipating it. There's a lot of. I mean, everybody that's cast on this season is very passionate about being there, and then 2/3 of y'all fail miserably. Like, they just like can't even handle the very first thing that comes your way. Like the very simple, can't unhook, can't find a large paddle. 2/3 of you just like do completely terrible.
I would just like to say shout out to Queen Liana for finding it. Come on, Liana crew. Liana gang.
He gets no credit.
Oh, yes.
He gets credit for finding it after like everybody was gone. No credit. No credit is given to her.
No, just prayers. Okay, that Liana makes the merge, so I can like feel really bad for like not giving her a chance in the preview episode. Okay, so okay.
Oh God. So this first reward challenge, though, Luvu, which is the blue tribe, had like a very early lead. We see how strong their players are. They forgot to unhook their anchor. Mess. Madame Caliente, I agree. David is not as bad as we thought, but he could get worse.
He goes by, what is he going by?
Voce. He's going by Voce this season.
Voce.
His name.
Sounds like a tribe here.
But Luvu, overall, pretty strong tribe, I think. Ua, our green tribe, were the winners. They sort of fell in the middle. They were very I felt sort of like average speed, but they didn't mess up at all.
Yep.
And then we had Yasa, or Messy, Yasa, Yellow.
Messa.
And they didn't get off the boat. So Ua wins the rewards, meaning that Luvu and Yasa will need to do a challenge before the immunity challenge to try and get the pot, the machete, and the flint. So, okay, let's talk about Saviour Sweat, y'all. Saviour Sweat was they either had an intellectual game where they had to guess the number of triangles inside of another triangle. Everyone could participate, but they only got one guess. Or they could have two survivors had to trek with water to fill 2 large barrels. It would take several hours. Did they pick right? Did they pick right?
I would have picked Savvy because it's a group decision. You're all in on it together. You all have the same information. There's no separation. You either win as a tribe or you lose as a tribe. Yeah, maybe it would have been a little bit more difficult to win because it did seem like the sweat challenge was relatively easy as long as you put some physical. I mean, it didn't look like it was that much of a challenge against the time, but so yeah, I was surprised that they both went sweat because I do think, especially when you're first starting, that you need that camaraderie of the group and you should all be in on the same decision making and all be part of what's going on and all have the same ownership in the reward. So totally. That was a little bit surprising to me. I thought that savvy would have been the way to go.
And Ben agrees with you. Can't lose valuable energy, which is what I said as well. You are sidelining your 2 strongest players right before an immunity challenge. Josh, what would you have chosen? What would you have pushed your team towards?
Personally, I would have chosen the same thing. Or, no, my manipulative ass would have been like, let's do the physical one, but I would have sent 2 people that I don't like to do it.
Yeah,
and then I'll strategize to both their asses out.
I absolutely see that.
So you would have been the Nasir of the group and being like, oh, they're looking for idols. Look at those 2. Look at those 2.
I would have been the Nasir, but I would have done it the right way, mama. Okay? I would have been like Nasir and Ricard mixed together, and I would have sink, line, whatever.
Hook, line, and sinker. And this is why Josh would be the Sarah.
You. I'm breaking down the first.
Bye-bye. No, you would do the JD. You would overplay. You're very charming.
Okay, I thought that we were getting a JD first boot edit, if I'm being completely honest. As I was watching the episode, I was like, this is a JD first boot type of edit, but
I'm seeing like JD final pre-juror edit right now. That's what I'm seeing now. I'm seeing like 5th or 6th boot.
I could see him as one of those ones who, like, if he can make it past the first 3 episodes, he's going to be fine for a while. You know, one of those ones where you're like, will he or won't he go early game? And if he stays, we're stuck with him.
Guys, I really didn't think Sarah was going to go, but we'll get into that. We'll get into it.
Ooh, Ben likes JD. Hot take, Ben.
Okay,
tell us why.
Here's the thing. Okay, firstly, because as a gay man talking, JD reminds me of a lot of. He has that look. He has the F-boy piercing. Okay, he just.
But Josh, he loves Jesus.
No, whatever. He had the F-boy piercing. Y'all know what I'm talking about. Both of y'all know what the.
You hate a dangly earring on a man. You hate the dangly earring on a man.
He kind of has fuckboy written all over him.
Homophobic.
I'm here for it.
Here we go. We're talking about a new show, and it doesn't take 10 minutes before Josh wants to tell us who he wants to fuck on the cast. Not surprising. I mean, we lasted like a good 10 minutes, Josh. I'll give you a lot of credit. Good job.
I was saying this to Sam. I was like, he's got that piercing, y'all. Work.
He looks like however many guys I've had sex with. What, Josh?
Welcome to the live show.
Josh, it is a
World, everybody.
That's not a bad thing. He's an attractive man.
Agreed.
And I left the number to be ambiguous.
Likely.
All right,
Yeah, Josh gave real numbers.
In all serious though, like he's a good character for this show. He's a villain. He's oblivious to how he's treating the rest of the people in the game. He might be fun to have around for a while. So
he's not very good at playing the game.
No. Natalie, Xander actually impressed me as well, but I think that's only because of the length of time they allowed him to be on camera. Because the longer he was on camera, the more annoyed I got. And he's on my team. I chose him. I chose Xander. So I'm like, I would like him to do well, and I'm happy he did well.
Can we talk about the true best play, my favorite? You know what I'm going to say?
Yes. Let's do that. Yeah.
Okay.
I think we all know it's Shan.
Sam was like hesitant, but he's like, okay, I guess we can talk about it.
Princess Duchess Shan, like, she is everything. Like, so much fun. She is my favorite player after this episode. So good.
I think Shan is going to go very far. I really like her. I think she's playing a really smart game. The fact that she was just in every conversation that happened, but there was no one was like, ooh, Shan's playing all the sides. Like, she doesn't get the JD perception because people just feel comfortable talking in front of her. That's wild.
Yeah.
Ben thinks it's between Shan and Evie. Evie did play a good game. Evie corralled those votes. Evie is showing herself to be a strong power player early on.
Definitely surprised me tonight.
I worry that Evie might be putting her neck too far out on the line, and she's not even on my team, but I love her.
I'm here for
I'm here for Evie. I was a big Evie fan. I thought I think she's in it for the long haul, for sure.
Lots of women this season that I like. I'm here for Evie. I'm here for Shan. I'm here for Liana now. I'm here for Erica. I'm here
Oh my God.
Genie.
Erica was such a pleasant surprise for me in the immunity challenge. I am excited. Erica is everything I wanted her to be and more. She is dangerous, and I am excited for her. Okay, so we're at camp. Oh, we didn't really talk about Nasir catching Danny and Deshawn, and then Sydney immediately throwing him under the bus. Luvu, I think every tribe has drama this episode. But can we agree, like, I'm sad because Deshawn is on my team and Nasir is on my team, and I don't want them to be fighting each other. But I think we can all agree that Sydney is the worst. I do not like Sydney. She's like, I'm just, waking up in the morning, traveling to other countries with a bag and a credit card. Hopefully daddy's credit card, but maybe not. And I just would really enjoy getting rid of this foreign man.
I was here for that. She is on my team, but I cannot stand her. She was like, I'm here for daddy's credit card. I'm like, see you, girl. You are not making the merge. But what was with her throwing Nasir under the bus randomly? Is it like that she wants to work with the boys or something? Like,
I mean, they were both, Deshawn and Danny are both strong men. Like, they single-handed, they towed that boat with a freaking anchor.
Yeah.
Okay. Did you see, they had to redo that part of the challenge and then caught up. Those two had time to look for immunity idols and still finish the challenge that Voce and Xander, it seemingly barely finished. So there's some strong boys. I don't think it's a terrible move to be aligned with them.
Very true. Doug, what's your thought on this?
If we're talking about the worst, it's Brad. he's the worst. Let's be honest. Like calling out, like, I'm going to vote out the two people that are standing here while we're having a deliberation. He's the worst. I'm sorry, Brad.
Oh my God.
Bye-bye. Get out of here. We'll get into that later, but Brad needs to go. He's on Alex's team, but I'm... Bye-bye.
It's like you do her a favor.
Ricard surprised me. Ricard was really good, potentially a good player. It's Ricard and Shan together.
I liked Ricard. I'm surprised that Genie surprised me. I don't know why. I think she's choosing wrong. I'm actually kind of upset with Genie, and she's on my team. Genie was, I believe, my first choice.
What do you like about Genie? I think she's playing fine. I feel like... what's wrong? What's your qualms?
She voted Ricard. Like, if Sarah had pulled the dice and got it, Genie's vote would have sent Ricard home.
Yeah.
And otherwise, it was unanimous for Sarah. And I don't like Genie not being aligned with Ricard.
Sam, that could come back to get her next episode, though.
I know. And I'm like, Genie, what are you doing, girl?
No, there was one vote for Brad, though, too. It was 3 votes Sarah, 1 vote Ricard, 1 vote Brad.
Sarah voted Brad.
So her vote wouldn't have counted. Is that what you're... Okay, I get what you're saying. Okay.
So I'm saying, so it doesn't really matter. Like, it was unanimous except for Sarah and Genie.
Interesting.
And I was like, oh, Genie, girl, no. And it's because I'm like, I don't want to choose between you two. I want to love both of you.
Yeah, I mean, why did Genie vote Ricard? Like, was she just not in on the fact that everybody was voting Sarah? Like, that seems like a really random vote.
No, I think that that was their little mini alliance. I think she's aligned with Brad and JD. And I think that her little mini alliance said, we're going to put all the votes on Sarah. We're going to put one on Ricard. So that if Sarah pulls for immunity and gets it, Ricard goes home. He was their backup.
Yeah, that could be that.
They split the vote.
I still think Genie will be fine, though. I don't think anybody's coming after her for a while, and she'll be able to make her inroads. I wouldn't be worried about Genie. I think she's...
I kind of hope that Green tribe stays intact because I think they're a fun tribe. They might be strategy and personality-wise my favorite tribe. I think the Blue tribe is the most boring tribe, the tribe that won. I think the other
I agree.
We haven't gotten to see enough of them. I think it'll be drama once things really get going. But Adrian, have you been watching the whole episode? Because I have been living in the light of Liana. I have been celebrating and saying we are liking her so much more now.
I apologize.
So okay. We get the freaking island twist where we get 3 delegates sent to an island for an unknown risk or advantage. So we get Danny, JD, and Xander are the 3 who are sort of designated to go. There's the whole protect or risk your vote game. And Danny immediately protects his vote, giving JD and Xander a +1 vote advantage. Now, here's where it really gets down to the nitty-gritty. JD chose to lie to his tribe about getting the extra vote. Xander, he didn't know.
And he lied to America.
He didn't know at that point if he had it or not. Xander chooses to be honest with his tribe and be like, this is a vote for the tribe. We can use this, together as a group. And it certainly impacted how their tribes viewed them. But Survivor is, at the end of the day, an individual game. Josh, who do you think made the right choice? Or you in this situation, would you lie or would you tell the truth?
I would tell the truth. I think Xander did a great move for his game because he doesn't come across as shady. JD now comes across as more shady, which still confuses me why he didn't get any votes at that tribal council. But to me, he did not make the right decision. He came off as shady. They knew he was full of shit. What did he do? It was a dumb decision what he did. Xander, I think, made the smartest decision. I think Danny made a horrible decision not taking it, but it gave the other 2 an advantage. So work.
Yeah. Doug, how about you? What do you think is the correct move in this situation?
So if I'm ranking the 3 out of who handled the situation best, right? Regardless of protect or risk, the people that I think that the person that handled the situation best was Xander. And then Danny, I think was a fine move. It was a safe move. He was able to tell the story very well, and I don't think that he lost any trust with his tribe. So I was fine with the way that Danny handled it.
I think Danny was neutral impact.
Right. Which I think was fine for his game too, honestly. Like, I don't think that he necessarily needed to have that advantage. It is an early advantage. Although, it's interesting, up until 6 players left, that's a very big advantage. Like, that's a long-term advantage that you can have. I wouldn't play it like right at the beginning unless I really needed to. So I do think that the risk of it is quite large for the reward. But yeah, I would rank Xander played it the best, and then Danny, and then JD just didn't really do well at all. If you're gonna do it, you need to tell the story better. It just wasn't. He didn't do it well.
I hear you. Okay, so yeah, we know how it turns out. We get to the immunity challenge, and this was the big moment. Come on in versus come on in, guys. I love that Ricard spoke up. It was a very proud gay moment for me. I think the immunity idol looks like a beer stein. With the handle, it was weird. I didn't like it.
Yeah, we waited so long. Come on, give us something better. I agree with you.
Give us something better. Give us fabulous. I feel like they've just been not as decadent recently.
It definitely looked at season 1. It definitely looked not season 1. Okay, maybe we're season 12. You know what I mean?
Josh, which season had the worst immunity idols?
Can we get an explanation of how we derived with these tribe names? What do they mean?
I think they're always words pulled from native languages or languages.
Sure. Yes. I do feel like there's probably some significance, but why not tell us what the significance is besides just making us put together random noises and make a thing? Tell us what it means.
You obviously remember the first couple seasons they used to do that. They were Ogakor, which is crocodile, and Cucho, which is kangaroo, and this one is like that.
I get that. I also, Doug, I could see what you're saying. I was thinking that during the episode, I was like, what if this is literally just the colors that they're wearing? I'm and we wouldn't know.
Right. I'm just okay, give us some reasoning why you came up with these 3 names. I would just like to know. I don't need to Google it and research it myself. Just tell me.
I'm sure some underpaid intern worked far too hard on coming up with those names for it to not get acknowledged.
Word.
So at Tribal, we find out the new twist about you can go and you can roll they call it the shot in the dark, and there's a 1 in 6 chance of you getting immunity, but regardless, you lose your vote. Which I think is we didn't really talk about how we feel about this twist. Josh, you have strong feelings, I can tell.
I love it. I'm here for it because if you think you're going, you can take your odds with that little dice and roll it, and you can be safe. So now production can rigor mortis it a little bit and be hey, use your thing. You know what I'm saying? They told Russell Hans to get his idols. They may as well tell us to be hey, you should roll your dice tonight because we don't want you, our main person that we're advertising to.
Ricard looked Sarah in the eyes and told her not to use her dice.
Oh, shady!
Voted for her. Doug, how did you feel about the shot in the dark?
I will feel better about the shot in the dark if it gives us the moment that they created it for. You know what I mean? I feel like it's a very small chance where we're rooting for somebody and they're about to go home, and they just happen to roll that dice, and it rolls what they need to. All of those things to align is going to take a lot. So it's a very interesting twist to put into the game for me because I have a hard time believing that it's going to be executed in the way that we want it to with a person that we're rooting for to save themselves. All those things to align is going to be very difficult.
Josh.
As you know, Sam, and somewhat Doug, I have been an org player, which is an online reality game player. If Ricard did not play orgs in his lifetime or live reality games, I'd be shocked. He is very like people that play those. And he is ready to stab anyone in the back, and there's a lot of gays that old school used to play them. I definitely, if I heard that Ricard had played in an org before, I wouldn't be surprised.
Mm-hmm.
Honestly, he has this way to his strategy that is like, I will lie right to your face and tell you whatever you want to hear and stab you right in the back. First episode, like,
Yep,
that was fun to watch.
it was fun to watch. So we get to the immunity challenge. It's nothing special. It's hauling some puzzle pieces around and moving sandbags and pushing stuff. Luvu stumbles again, and yet still manages to turn out the win. I think particularly for two reasons. I think number one, Danny and Deshawn are a huge credit to their team for being as strong as they are, because they hauled that shit around. And number two, we finally get to talk about her. Miss Erica is a puzzle beast.
God.
Oh my God. This girl can do no wrong. I mean, extraordinary.
She's not going to leave no pieces in the bag, okay? She will have all those pieces and put them together.
No, ma'am.
I'm here for her. That was great. That she was like the challenge MVP of that episode.
Word.
Like,
she was
and
great.
you'll know with an immunity challenge, it all comes down to the puzzle. Like the first part of it, it's all BS. Who cares? You could be last place, up Schitt's Creek without a paddle. Okay, Myra Rose, you could be, but if you get to that puzzle and are really good at puzzles, you can win that game. It does not matter. It always comes down to the puzzle.
Yeah, it does. And Erica was, I think, one of the main reasons that her try was safe this round. She was great.
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah. I'm very excited. I'm very excited to have her on my team.
Oh yeah.
So we get back to camp. We're getting sort of Abe versus Tiffany storyline at Yasa. We're getting a Sarah versus JD versus Brad a little bit at UA. Brad plays poorly. He just shouts out Sarah or Shan in front of Sarah and Shan. Excuse me.
Yeah, what was that? That was just...
And Shan, again, is the deciding vote in all these conversations. Did anything about this strategizing period stand out to you? I mean, we can talk about Brad first. Dumb.
So dumb.
So like, dumb.
I thought that we were like in this cycle of casting Survivor players that are intelligent, I guess. I don't know. Like, Brad, what are you doing? What in your mind thinks that, oh yes, it is the very first day or second day, and I'm going to tell everybody, I'm going to tell these two people that I am going after them right in front of their faces. Like, what?
Yeah, well,
what?
Josh made the interesting assessment potentially of a chaos player, but I think he's just dumb.
I think he's just dumb.
Chaos player. They're always chaos player could be someone dumb. Like,
no, you can have a good chaos player like Chaos Cass, which is smart, but you can have a bad chaos player like
Cass is smart.
I don't think Brad classifies as a chaos player. I think he just classifies as a dumb player.
Dumb player. Like, but here's my thing. Like, I was not having him. I just wasn't. I was kind of hoping he was going to get the boot tonight. Not going to lie. I was kind of hoping.
Oh, we were.
If Sarah was smart, she would have tried to turn that on Brad, but she didn't. She needed to try to turn that when that whole thing was happening. Because I feel like if that would have happened before Tribal, she would have had a chance at switching the vote on to Brad, but she didn't do that beforehand. That we saw anyways.
She broke. She was a mess. Poor girl. She just immediately. And I would like to point out that I did call it during our team picks that I was that was like, sorry, girl.
Also, real quick, I will say it was interesting in this whole, when we're looking at both of the tribes and we were looking at Yasa, and Tiffany realizes that she's kind of in trouble, so she goes to look for the hidden immunity idol. And I really like that this season they inserted Jeff showing where the hidden immunity idol was actually hidden. And they show how close Tiffany was to actually finding it. Like, I like being in on the secret of where the hidden immunity idol is. I like that little aspect of it. So that was cool to me. I like that and seeing like how close she was to actually finding it without finding it.
She was so close. She was right there. Oh, I wanted her to get it. I love her. I love Tiffany.
We always stand at Tiffany.
We do. We love. She's very like New Jersey mom, and I love it.
Oh, I stand at Tiffany too.
We love them.
I'll start crying.
So let's get into tribal. We've got Yasa. Xander gets his extra vote. Abraham goes. It seemed it was a little messy. He was real surprised.
Yeah.
Josh?
I felt like Tiffany did a very good job at the beginning of Tribal, though, when Jeff was asking the questions. She said what she needed to say, that, like, I am here about the cohesiveness of this tribe. I, really believe in our group together and the chemistry that we have together. I really felt that Tiffany played that Tribal as well as she could have. Even if there was a little bit of target on her, I think that she said the things that she needed to say to solidify her staying over Abraham.
Yeah, absolutely. Josh, how did you feel about Yasa Tribal?
Yeah, I think this one was more of a, we're pretty sure it's one or the other going, and I was pretty sure it was going to end up being Abraham, who was Eric, but he goes by Abraham, so work, mama. But yeah, I wasn't surprised by it. I'm happy Tiffany survived, because I think that Tiffany has a really potential good storyline, and I'd like to see Tiffany make it far.
Again, alternate. She's a mom. She's real cute. We love her.
Tina Weston was an alternate in Survivor Australia, and that helped her a lot win the game. So, hey, we could be looking at it.
Sure could. Yasa, I was not surprised. I wanted to note that the ladies of Yasa now have control of their tribe. We've got Evie, we've got Tiffany, and we have Liana. And they're a tight little trio. So now in a 5-person team, we love to see it.
I'm happy with the women controlling that tribe.
Mm-hmm.
I like when the tribes don't care about being strong in the beginning. Like, I'm always like, who cares? I don't need. I get it. You do want to win immunity, but who knows how long that like 2 tribes have to go to tribal council. If that's going to be the case for the next couple of weeks, like, it doesn't really matter how strong your team is. Only one tribe is winning, so get rid of the people that you're not getting along with.
Also, really quick, why does voting out the weakest member always mean voting out the women?
Because they go for physically strongest. They go for who they're expecting to have the most stamina.
But wasn't Erica the one who won the challenge for her tribe? So, like, that's something that needs to change. It is now 2021, people. If you're going to target all the women, then maybe you should go back to 2004.
And that was exactly Evie's thought, which I thought was interesting, was like, okay, so this time Tiffany's the weakest, but I don't like this idea that we'll get in this pattern of voting out the weakest, because she was like, that could be me next. Mm-hmm. Which I thought was very smart. But I thought Yasa went well. I'm glad that who run the world? Girls. My queen Liana is safe. And preach, Josh, women can be strong, and not just physically strong, but again, challenge beast. It can include stamina. It can include physical strength. It can include puzzles, memory, all sorts of stuff. Ability to eat weird foods. It can be all sorts of stuff. So, let's go to the Ua tribal, because that was wild. We get a live tribal episode 1. What?
Very live.
Very, very that. Josh, you were so thrilled.
I was here, I was queer, and I had no fear. Okay, I was ready to watch this tribal. I was sad that JD wasn't a target, but whatever, may as well go with it. But I was like, as long as Ricard and Shan are okay, I'm okay as well. Okay, so it was between, I don't even know, they were all talking. It's like, let's change the plans. You have Ricard talking to Shan. You have Sarah being like, I'm scared. Shan being like, don't be scared. Ricard being like, no, you don't have to play your dice. And then you have
well, and then like the JD and Shan dynamic was really interesting to me. But I get it; they're two people of color on their tribe.
yeah.
And I believe they're the only. Are they the only two on their tribe?
Yes,
Well, yeah,
Shan.
Genie and Ricard. They're the only two black people on their tribe.
Yeah, so maybe that could be
And
it.
like that seemed
No.
like that, and I don't. Oh, and they're also both religious.
Oh, they definitely are.
Yeah, so I'm like they seem. I mean that their intensity, because I think you can see which alliances really pop in that moment, and that was the one that stood out to me. But yeah, I mean Brad's name getting thrown out, JD's name getting thrown out. It was chaotic.
Yeah.
But ultimately we got the Sarah vote. Doug, how did you feel about the UA tribal?
Well, I'm just wondering, did any of these votes really change? Like, I get that it looked like it was live, but like, it seemed as though they really wanted to vote for Sarah before. Like, whose vote really changed? I don't know if anybody really changed their mind at tribal. What do you guys think?
Go ahead, Sam.
I was gonna say I wonder. I think that the votes that happened tonight set the tone for what's coming later. Like, it's not as important as like who went, but I think a lot of the individual votes are going to start to matter. Ricard's going to be pissed that he was the alternate.
No, I agree, but my main question is, do you think that any votes changed from what they were planning on doing prior to tribal to at that really live discussion that happened? Yes. Or was it basically what they were planning on going into tribal? Did that happen?
I think Ricard flipped.
Ricard was going to vote who then?
I don't think Ricard.
I think he was going to vote Brad, potentially.
No, I think they went into it probably voting Sarah. I think, Doug, you're right. I think they went into it probably voting Sarah, which we didn't get from the editing. It looks like it. And then they had an epiphany as Shannon and Ricard, like, why don't we vote out Brad? Let's do it. And then Shan went to JD, and JD was probably like, Shan, no, we're voting out Sarah.
Well,
that is what happened.
Well, JD asked
Shan.
Well, JD asked Sarah, like, Brad, or Shan.
No, but he asked when he was talking to Shan, he was like, who do you want to go?
Yes.
So Shan must have been like the deciding factor on Sarah.
Yeah. I just thought it was interesting. I do think that the only way that Sarah could have saved herself was prior to tribal, if she would have made a case that, like, look it, guys, Brad is a dumb. Brad's dumb. Why is Brad really that strong? Like, what did Brad do? If we're talking about being a strong person, what did Brad do to ever exude being strong or having any sort of strength?
And when you don't have food, and he was real quick getting them coconuts, getting straws, like, I think that he's useful around camp, and that bought him some goodwill.
I'm just a big anti-Brad fan.
I don't think the survivor aspect really matters in this game anymore. They can try to make it matter, but
they took away food. And when people are hungry, things start to get a little kooky.
I don't know. I think it's mainly the strategy. I don't think it matters. They're still finding it. They still have the food. I don't, and especially for being 26 days now, it's more about the strategy that helps people. People don't vote based on the survival aspect anymore. That's like,
but they're not getting, I mean, they're only getting coconut right now. They're not getting protein. They're not getting really, I mean, that's going to be more fat probably than carbohydrates. Like, they're getting like fat and sugar right now.
Yeah,
which
that's true. That's true.
Is not ideal. But okay, are we doing some superlatives for this episode?
Why not? Let's do them.
Let's do it.
Let's do it. Okay, I need to remember which ones we do for.
Okay, so we're gonna. Well, let's just make them up right now. Let's just do it on the spot. How about like top player of the
Let's not do that.
I don't know.
Let's do it.
Okay, we will be renaming our superlatives, but yes, our traditional first is best player of the episode. Who wants to start us off? Josh, you want to start us off? Yeah, Josh, who's our best player this episode?
Shan is the best player of the episode. I think Shan really controlled it strategically. I think Shan was here to slay, and that she did. Definitely Shan. And by the way, if you are watching not live at the moment, make sure to comment below, guys. Even if it's not live, comment below and let us know who your favorite player of the episode was.
MVP, who played the best episode?
Who's the MVP of the episode? Comment below. Let us know.
Yep. Doug, who was your MVP this episode?
I really liked Evie. I don't think that she was playing too strong. I think she played pretty well. And I think that she's leveraging herself well in her tribe. And I just also, I'm going to be biased because I don't know. I just really enjoyed everything about her. So I'm picking Evie.
Mm-hmm. I have to go controversial opinion. I'm going with my girl, Erica. Erica ensured. Erica is the reason that her tribe did not have to go to tribal, and that's fair. To me is one of the best things you can do in the episode. So, and I feel like it mostly rested on her shoulders. I thought she was great, and I really enjoyed her. Next, of course, we always have like our who surprised us, our dark horse of the competition. Who are your dark horses? Doug, do you have someone?
I haven't talked about this yet, and I made a note of it while I was watching the episode. So the dark horse for me is Xander's eyelashes. Did you all catch those? Because they were amazing. Every time that he was like talking, I was just like, wow, he has such beautiful eyelashes. And I hope that takes him really far in the game. So I'm rooting for Xander's eyelashes.
He's a pretty man.
He's so
Josh,
pretty.
Who is your dark horse, Josh?
Mine was Liana because I didn't give her enough love in the preview episode. So I'm going to say Liana. I think she had some fun tonight. I was here for it. I was wrong about her so far. We'll see what happens. But
I am keeping up the Luvu love, mostly because I have the most players on that team, so I really want them to do well. But Danny was a surprise for me, and Evie was a surprise. Danny was a stronger social player than I was expecting, and that man is strong. Like, he is legendary Survivor strong, strongest on the season strong. Like, he did some work for Luvu. But Evie was a strong social player, and it's really surprised me at how they were able to connect so well with everyone so quickly. Evie really played a strong social game. So 2 players that aren't mine, but they surprised me. Finally, we have our hot mess express for the episode. I think it's a little bit of an obvious one today, but we'll go to you anyway. Josh, who is your hot mess express this episode?
I don't know if it's really between 2 people for me, but I'm going to go with Sydney as our hot mess express this evening.
Interesting.
Daddy's credit card right on the first episode. What is that? Girl, get it together. It's episode 1. Take your daddy's credit card and go on a cruise ship or something. Don't go on Survivor. Max.
I hear you. Doug, who is your hot mess express for the episode?
I've been hating on him this entire time, and I'm still going to hate on him. I just don't like him. And I don't know what he's doing. And he's got to go bye-bye. Bye-bye to Brad.
I hear you. Doug, I have to agree with you. Brad, what are you doing? In the words of the sassy gay friend, but it's also sort of thrilling, but it's just like, why are you doing this? Why are you doing this? Atharella, we were also hoping that he was leaving. I mean, it was, we're not a fan in this house. But that's it. We've got our superlatives. Doug, thanks for the Kiki, babes.
Yes!
So glad to have you, as always. Now it's time where we plug ourselves.
My favorite time.
There we go. Okay, Doug, where can everyone find you?
You can find me on Twitter and Instagram. Also, if you go to my Instagram page, you might find a picture of me with the governor of our state from this past weekend because I got to meet her, Big Gretch, at Motor City Pride. It was me and her, and I made a nice impression, and now we're besties. But you can follow me on Twitter and Instagram at Doferg.
Folks,
Loves.
you can like a picture of two legends and icons on Doug's Instagram. Josh,
right.
what's next?
Oh, okay, let's go to me.
Oh,
Okay, let's go to you. You can follow me on Twitter and Instagram, y'all, at Mendels8. That's Mendels and 8, not 7, not 9, 8.
okay, folks, and you can find me at Sam Meier Comedy on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram. Finally, please remember to like this video, subscribe to our channel. It really helps us out. And also, you can keep up to date on everything we're doing on social media. You can follow us on Twitter at Couch Potato Queens. That's QWNZ. Instagram at Couch Potato Queens, spelled normally, and subscribe to our channel. Of course. Lots of exciting things coming up for us individually and as a podcast network. We are so excited to share. So make sure you subscribe so you can stay up to date on all of the exciting things going on. And as always, Josh, remember, what do we say? Outwit, outlast,
And out gay, motherfucker.
Bye.